Hi everybody, Thursday, April 16, 2020. I said last week that I was an optimist, but this weekend I was a extremely tired optimist. And the fifth step of grief is depression and pain. Okay, so since I had no more ice to break, I went to do a little do-it-yourself project. I put a table in my garage. I put sheets of plywood on a table. I got a saw from my brother. And when I was all done, I had little dust on the floor. My plywood was cut. I broke the blade of my brother's saw. That's okay. And there was a big cut line in the middle of the table that my wife loved. Okay. So not only I was tired this weekend, I was confused too. And it's a really good thing I'm not a machine operator in the shop. I would have trouble with my foreman. Okay, so that's my weekend. As for an update this week, there's a few things going well, a few things are more difficult, and I want to go through both lists with you. So things going well. Month of March looks okay. I don't have final results yet, but I think we made it. We made it through March. Not too bad. No new COVID case in the company. Calgary, 120 people at work. Mississauga, 29 people at work, going to 42 next week. 100% of employee suggestions for health and safety implemented. Well done. Boucherville, 5 people at work on essential jobs this week and next week, going up April 27th, a little more. St. Gideon, also again on essential project, we had 160 workers, going to 240 next week, and all this being done in a very respectful environment. Stonebridge busy, Stonebridge out 100%, and Stonebridge remains very important for St. Gideon, so we want them to do well. And in the bridge business, Quebec, Shawinigan, Laval, Clermont, approximately 50% of the people are back at work. On the things that are a little more difficult, Mike Brennan and I were on a call yesterday with a steel mill that was sharing with us how extremely difficult it's been for the automobile industry in North America. The utilization of steel mills in the US went from 81% down to 56%. In Europe, it's almost 50% of the blast furnaces are shut down. So it creates issues for scrap. Uncertainties with price. It's a real issue for us to navigate this. On the US side, we want our American friends to do well. Okay, we really do. Doing well probably goes through stimulus packages by their government, and typically when that happens, they tend to become more protectionist. So there is a risk of the US market being more difficult to access in the months and years to come, but that's probably the price to pay for them doing better, okay? The other thing I wanted to share is it's not the earthquake that kills people, it's the tsunami, okay? But most people focus on the earthquake, which I think is what we're living in right now, okay? And we don't see the tsunami that's coming. And they say that by the third and fourth quarter of this year, the unemployment rate in the US might be north of 25%. This is unseen since the Great Depression, and we can't ignore that risk. So as we manage Can-Am and look at what the future looks like, we have to imagine a future that is hopeful, but also very difficult, okay? That's how we're gonna manage this. In conclusion, one of the most difficult thing of this message that I do is I'm talking to so many different people. I'm talking to someone who's been laid off full time, with or without kids at home, with or without a spouse that is working or not. I'm talking to people who have been in reduced work, sometimes as much as 60%. We're talking to people who are working at home. And it's not always fun. You may have kids to take care of, a job to do. We're talking to people who have to show up physically in a site with others. There might be a health stress that has to be managed. We're talking to people who are literally on 24 hours a day. because the phone's on and they're one email away from having to act on an emergency. So there's a lot of stress in their work. And we also have colleagues who've been traveling. We had people who flew to BC last week on a Walmart job. We have truckers going around helping deliver finished goods, bringing back raw material. So to all of you, okay, it's not hard to think that our pain, our stress is greater than the others. Okay, we're all stressed. This is difficult for everybody. And the one thing we have in common, we do well when the company does well. That's the one thing we have in common. In this pursuit of a company doing well, our decision will be based on these three principles. There's zero confusion there. The health of the people who work at the company, the service and the flexibility we provide to our customers, and the long-term health of Can-Am. We are very fortunate to have an excellent reputation, excellent relationships. We are literally coast to coast in Canada, a very, very strong position. And I think we'll do well, but we do have bumps in the road to manage. In closing, please stay calm, stay respectful to your colleagues, and if ever you cut something on a table this weekend, please measure twice. Thank you.